Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody out there?
It's the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick every Tuesday. Everything is going down. Thursday. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony Show. It's during the week, homie. The Roy Anthony Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get up, tap in before we got it.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Sorry that some of the lightings, man, we've been going through the transitions. So if it seems like, man, why does it seem a little dark and stuff? That's just been way we're getting stuff moved. And matter of fact, we're gonna be taking a break after this week. The Roy Anthony Show is going to be into the third season. Can't believe it, third season. What we try to do is we do 16 episodes, which is basically 16 weeks per our season. So thank God, man, we've been through 3 seasons of the Roy Anthony Show under the Woe Entertainment platform. My co-stars, as everybody knows, will be coming in eventually. Big Hank and Christina Carter. Big Hank coming from Long Beach, and Christina Carter, you know how we got in the United States and stuff. I always like to bring it up, you know what I'm saying? So Big Hank way over here. I flew in to Kansas. I'm over here, KCK, 1,500 miles, and then Christina's over here in Mississippi, and then our producer, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, and his beautiful wife Shelly, they live over here in Missouri. And then we got Blue Phoenix, our social producer, who stays down in Springfield, Missouri, down here somewhere. Then we have like a lot of our friends from the BB Nation up in these southern states, and then we got friends all the way in Australia, in Germany, and I was like, where's Australia? I know it's somewhere on this bud, right? I'm like, man, we all over the world. That's why it's called the Woe Entertainment. Hey, how you doing, George? John Porter, he says, "Sup, Roy and crew? What's up with you, John?" He said, "You keep kicking ass. Sorry, I missed the show last night. I listened this morning though. Thanks, man. It's round 2, man. Look here, man. If you're missing anything, oh my goodness, Monday nights, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. You know, you done had a busy weekend. The only thing you have to do is plug in the music. Sometimes we need to turn our TV off, turn off the whole world, and just go listen to, you know. And what we're doing is we're taking old school rock versus old school rap. And old school is considered from 2010 to the past. So, you know, and so sometimes, even though there's an artist that's still performing up to date, because music never dies, but we're doing so we're doing a toe-to-toe. Old school rock versus old school rap. Now, we're letting everybody know, if you could go to Spreaker.com and you leave a comment, you can give us the songs you want to hear. I don't care what it is, because we hit the explicit. So we've had from the Eazy-E, NWA to the Rock. War Pigs became one of my favorites. I had to play it twice. That was a song that was asked by from our producer. Woe said by nations, BB Nation is based in Oregon. See, Oregon. Now, Oregon, I know is way over here above California. Wow. And he said, John said, haven't heard a bad song yet, brought back a lot of memories. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, thanks, John. I appreciate that. Every show, I appreciate John. I want to show this, man, because our producer is crazy, man. Our head producer. Well, everyone knows, if you've been knowing, like Big Hank went to USC, and Big Hank is he has helped me over the years, y'all, on making sure that I pronounce words correctly. So there was a request for a song by the singer who used to do the football. Help me out. The singer used to do the Monday Night Football, Hank Williams Jr. And so there was a song request. And so I didn't know. I said, here we're going to bring up Mr. Bocephus. But I know I said, see, I never had the word correctly. First I said Bocephus. And so we had a guest, my man Casey Note, who is very known for his lyrics. He said, hey man, he said it's not Bocephus. I can't even say it correctly, but it's Mr. Bocephus. But I was like, Bocephus. That's why they got on here. He asked me, he said, say Bocephus. John said he asked for War Pigs on the first night. Well, man, we played it again too last night. And but I'm gonna be honest with you. It amazes me because if anyone understands, let me make sure I do. I want to say my attributes again. I want to give a shout. I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. We pride ourselves on that. It's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. My co-stars, Big Hank, my Miss Christina Carter, aka Mr. Uniqueness. Then we have the Woe Entertainment that was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, and along with the co-creator Goose and our beautiful associate producer Blue Phoenix, along with Athens, and to our major sponsor, Mr. Matthew Brooks. And then we give a shout out to the BB Nation. Appreciate y'all. All the listeners around the US and the different countries. We be having some people chiming in from Australia, some from Germany, and we appreciate you. We really do. Also, it's been told to me, and I just want to say this before we get into our subject, which is about cancel culture, and we're gonna get into that because it's to me, it's what's causing wars and disharmony and everything. What we need to be counseling now that needs to be on focus is our children. That should be one, family, children, and family. That's the main thing. There's some horrible people out there, but we're gonna go into that. But I wanted to bring up that we always saying what we try to do is we're putting a studio together and we're representing the wall along with it. And with me being over my the staff, we got people be working for us on one hand after another. And so we want our next season. After this week, we're coming to end our season, and we're going to pick back up after 3 weeks, but we're getting some stuff taken care of. And if anybody's interested in the show, I'm not a person who, I'm no politician and everything. Every piece of money that we get, we make it work so we can bring out the truth. Contributions to the Roy Anthony Show, you can give through Cash App, $ Roy Anthony 562. I didn't correct that. Cash App did. don't think I put the $sign on there, or somebody, whoever created that for us. And then you can sell either to my email, broanthony.wmg@gmail.com. Just like when we do for our comedy, I've drove 3 or 4 times all the way down to Cameron, Missouri with Richie, and I love people who is truthful about what they do. I'm not. We have veterans. That's what the Woe Entertainment was created for veterans that was committing suicide, and we had to bring attention to it because sometimes, and anybody knows, we have our pride. Some people, especially men, and I'm not going to say men just because our soldiers is men and women, but we tend to sometimes be going through things and we don't want to talk about it. We may feel like we're out of place because the people we're surrounded with probably have one tone. Like in my family base, it seemed like everybody wants to be Democrats, whereas I'm a free American. Because to me, I don't, see where either one of them does anything for us, basically. I do see certain scenarios, but some people are doing because the group is doing it. And this is where we call, to me, grouping, because you're not looking at the scenarios of being an individual and thinking for yourself. Counsel culture has been where we're counseling things that's become a norm. Now, in psychology, if you ever study, a norm is something that you do without even thinking about it. Like if you get up in the morning, you're probably a person who puts your first leg in your pants and then put your right leg in. You might put your right leg in first. And then if you ever thought about it, to say, hey, how do I put my pants on? Like say if you running late, and you'll notice there's a certain system you put on first. That's called a norm. And when a norm is different from the typical norms that's around, so let's say, for instance, you're around 6 people every day, and them 5 people are doing the norm, and you don't feel comfortable on it. You shouldn't feel like you're not part of this world. It's called individually thinking. The government wants us to be robots. They want us to just adhere to anything that they say and do. That's throughout the history of every government in other countries throughout the history. There's always a determining factor of trying to be controlled. You don't think for yourself, think as the group. That's why I have a problem sometimes with the mega churches, especially in the black churches. You teach this propaganda and you can see the results, nothing. Because the song says nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Hey, you got to have something if you want to be with me. Hey, that's what nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Because there's nothing. Look at the communities. That's right, John. You said there is no normal. Normal is what is socially acceptable. See, that's the normal. I like it spiritually. Everybody know I'm spiritual. I'm not a religious person. I do believe in God, and I believe that there's salvation, and I believe in the afterlife. So I don't debate with anybody. And so, because when that deaf person comes, because that is an appointment that you're gonna have to meet. I don't want to wait till the last minute to find out, hey, it is true. I'd rather be on the safe side. And as wicked as I have lived, to be able to confess that I believe in God, but I'm not that religious person. I'm not that one who's going to go with this man who think he has a vision. I've seen people so brainiac and so lost that they just think that they gonna this is how we're gonna go to heaven, y'all. All of us. This is it. Yeah, we might as well believe that a tornado is going to take you to another land where the Munchkin people is and stuff, and a talking scarecrow. I'd be like, if somebody said, "Man, I was in, the tornado took me away, and they threw me, and I landed on a witch, and they put her shoes on my feet, and these Munchkin people led me around this." Told me to follow this road, and a talking scarecrow and a tin man and a lion, and we all became friends. I'd be like, someone's on the mushrooms. Someone's hitting that stuff. But I would seem like we accept stuff like that. Now, this council culture, man, I knew we was getting to a problem, especially when we have stuff like, Dr. Seuss. The people don't understand. Now, he may be a racist guy. I don't know. But hey, look here. When you learning how to read and to make the words understandable, because some kids didn't want to read, but we found it interesting when I was a kid, green eggs and ham and the picture illustration and stuff. And he never showed that the people wasn't really people. They're like they was half animals and plants. But somebody wants to be a philosophical. This is what I'm talking about when it's grouping compared to individually thinking. And this is where this council culture has been coming in. We know what's wicked, but when somebody got the time to sit back and try to dissect, or you're trying to look for it, lynching someone is that's racist for real. You lynching black folks, and I've seen those pictures where these pictures in the 60s and stuff, and the FBI, you can't catch this person. I couldn't do that, man, unless I was a hitman, and it's not discriminating against anybody. For real. But see, someone to take something innocent, and then more likely with someone without a child. Because when I've even read to my babies and had to Dr. Seuss, I was like, hey, some of the pictures was funny to me. And it made so when my baby who's trying to read would look at it and stuff, then she say, green eggs and ham. Ooh. And so now in the morning, she wants some green eggs and ham. I'm like, no, we don't eat that. That's for in that book. Our eggs are about to be yellow. Was that someone not understanding? Because God said, bring them as children. If you don't have the mind of a child with faith, because faith, if you look at a child will take in anything, because they're like a sponge. They want to learn. And it's amazing when they think they know. The jokers have an attitude. I always say, man, between my children, between ages 2 through 4, oh my goodness. These jokers think they know everything. But I love my babies, but they really was fun between 6, like 5 and 9 and 10, and they want to observe. And then when the conversations we had, but when they just transitioned and went from into saying words, you got somebody who wants to try to counsel that out, because then they want to try to make it derogatory. Like I'll tell people, I've never been in. Someone said a little food color goes a long way. I say you're gonna satisfy the baby, give him green. But this is where I show to my babies that, between, what we call fiction and nonfiction, they seem to try to converge the word. He said that a quote that I wrote He said, if you can't explain it to a child, do you really know the answer? If you can't explain it to a child, do you that? And you know what? And see, a lot of our families, when Generation X, we were small because we were thinkers and we're doers. We created cell phones, pages. We needed to be able to communicate faster than the U.S. Postal Service. We seen that the U.S. Postal Service wasn't a monopoly. FedEx and UPS proved that. We in a world where it's commerce. you know. And so when I think about the council culture, we had to understand, we had to have this conversation. You had to hear from where, look, I'm a mediator from a lot of my Black, Latinos, minority friends, and my white friends, my neighbors. But Redneck Pimp has a lot of his constituents and neighbors, and I came down by myself and kicked it with them and did not feel no type of threat, because we had to be able to communicate. We had to be able to know each other for each other. You know, he said, damn right. He said, I taught it to them, laugh out loud, or thought it to them. See, sometimes when you are isolated by yourself and you coming back, especially our veterans, you come back, even teenagers, it can be depressing. The worst thing you can do is argue with someone about your way of thinking, because it's your mind that makes your right leg move to your left leg move. It's your mind that makes your hands move. It's your mind that make you see the things you see. It's your mind. And with your mind, it all matters. This guy became a millionaire because the brown paper bags, and there's a dip in it. Well, they used to didn't have that dip where it's called a thumb. You can put your thumb and shake the bag open. The paper bag used to be straight, and people was constantly complaining about having paper cuts. So this guy went home, he's like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm take my own bag, but I'm gonna clip. He clipped his own bag so he can put his thumb and shake it without having to be cut. Another customer seen him, and she was opening up her bag. She's like, "Ow!" And he seen her just open. She said, "How'd you do that?" He said, "Well, I cut this thing out." It became a pattern. Now you look around the whole U.S., people was using that bag and shake it up. Because while everybody else was getting finger cuts, he probably didn't even let everybody. He told everybody, "I'm gonna make a thumb." They like, man, all the things you could be thinking of doing with your life. This is what you want to think about, is putting your finger where your thumb can go on a bag. Man, come on, man. All the things that's going on in this world, and the only thing you can think about is using your bag to cut a thumb out. Have you got a job? People will depress you because you have an idea. So he goes in his own quiet space, because guess what? This is what we call leaving out the outside noise. Let me listen to my own thoughts, and I take it and I make my own bag. While everybody else got band-aids on their fingers and stuff, I'm going in there like, do, get my groceries, shake my bag open. Lady say, how'd you do that? Now the stores can't help nothing, because it's a shame. Now we got a reason to sue you because you could get these bags while I ain't cutting my thumb. Council culture, thinking outside the box. These are people who don't want you to think. They want you to concentrate on mundane stuff. Someone said, oh, I saw a short person. I said, oh, it's a midget. They said, you're not supposed to say midget. You're supposed to say small person. Wait a minute. For one, I'm going to let everybody know, I'm more couth than that. I'm not going to run up to him and say, hey, you a midget. Come on, Captain Obvious. That is too obvious. Come on, I'm not going to do that. Even though I do have to fight the urge of want to pick him up and, you know, and tease with him like, we represent the lollipop. But I don't do that because I got more couth. I'm not going to go say, hey, you midget. I'm not going to go up to him and say, hey, you small person. But see, this is where who takes the time to think of how to help someone else? That's where we have a problem. People ask me, you know, like abortions. Look, I'm not into it. I would never tell a woman if I got her pregnant to have an abortion. Although I believe that a person has the right to do what they want with their body. If the person don't want to carry the child, then they should have a way of not killing the baby, then implement this baby into a woman that wants to have the baby. All this money you spend on fighting about it, why don't there's a lot of women that would love to have a baby, and you got all these surgeries. If you can take surgeries and cut off other motherfuckers nuts, then you should have the surgery to be able to implement this embryo that this woman don't want to have and put it in this woman who do. You know, that's another one. You know, with the gay people. You know, my thing is, I've never been homophobic. We had a cousin in my family when I was a kid. He was the same age as me. And even though he played football and everything, he had little tendencies. We want to put it on the grown folks' clothes. You know, kids, he want to slip on pantyhoses in a slip. Like, you know, the thing with me is that when the women and stuff, you know, love and respect women, council culture used to be a time when a woman dresses all sexy and nice and she ain't with nobody. You may do the that's how we learned from Bob Hope and Dean Martin in movies when we were little kids. You got, oh, you better not do that today. That's just counsel. You ain't standing up there doing no whistling today. You know, it was our gay people, our gay community. It gets to a point, you know, there's who knows what was derogatory. Yeah, I didn't know that, you know, you couldn't say faggot. And we learned that they don't like that. What I didn't like is when you compare your struggles as your sexuality to things that actually people fought for actual humanity. There's a difference. And this is where I didn't like the comparison of you taking what your sexual preference is to make it as an equal to certain humanity scenarios that didn't deal with sexuality, but you wanted to compare it to it. And this is where I want to, it's like our producer is deeply Native American, you know, and he is spiritual about it. I've been to his house when how he has different things set up with this, you know, the spirit God that he does everything. He hunts, everything he eats. They, you know, they keep him in the same thing. I'm not that person to say, hey, that's not how you do. That's not me. I'm not that pilgrim. I accept people for who they are and stuff, right? But when I'm how can I say this? He tells me, he shares with me a story about something called the Trail of Tears, and where this people had to go through, and they was getting killed and everything, being forced to migrate and just, you know, just mistreated and stuff, right? you 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 sit up here and these people was just trying to live, be in a land, be where they can just be free to say they had their own spot, but they being herded, right? You know, along with the counter stories with blacks. You've seen, let's say, with the civil rights movement and the situations that happened in Oklahoma and other events, you know, where the Jim Jones situation and people to commit suicide and getting ate by animals because they following something right now. You cannot take these stories of humanity against humanity scenarios and make it to equate with a sexual preference. This is the part that I'm not liking. When I had a gay group tell me, and I'm not against what you do, I'm just not, I'm a heterosexual. It's not for me to go against what vibes with you. My scenario is when the fight for equality from you, you want to equate it to the civil rights movement and to the Trail of Tears. And to this is where I have a problem with that. Because these are the situations with the Trail of Tears and the civil rights movement and hangings and stuff like that was humanity against humanity. Ain't nobody in my side cared about what you doing in your household. Most of the time when we become kids and you become to a certain age, you move out because you want to get your groove on. It is not for anyone to tell you how to do your groove. There was a movie which I never watched called Brokeback Mountain. When it said Brokeback, I know I didn't like it. Until I found out it was about two gay cowboys, whatever. I thought it was a movie about slavery. I really did. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. For real. It broke back. Ooh, towns named situations off of stuff that actually happened. Broke back. They say, but that's what I'm saying, John. Don't tell me I had to treat you in a certain way because of this or that. I told you I do that because of, look, I'm gonna respect you regardless. I feel you, John, but I don't have to change my way of respecting you because you like that. That snap your tongue. I'm not, it doesn't bother me. Look, I look at it like it's a factory. If we was in a factory, we had an assembly line. Okay, my job is to put the box together. This next person's job is to take the box. The third person's job is to fill it up with the foam. The fourth person's job is to make sure that it's taped and sealed with the foam inside it. And the fifth person takes it and put it on this rack. Now, the whole time this assembly line is going, I have not asked what preference that person is. Me, myself, personally, don't even like to hear stories where some guy had some sexual exploitation that night. Why are you sharing that with me? All you're doing is making me want to knock boots with her. You feel me? Some things need to be kept to yourself. Some guys want to share how their fantasy was it him and the wife and what they did. Now you got this other dude talking about besting your friends in the bed with your wife. You done told him how much of an animal she is. Come on now. Some things better left unsaid. I don't care what you're doing in your neighborhood. This is this council culture stuff. I ain't never seen gay guys and say, "Are you gay?" And I just don't like you compare it. And all of a sudden you got some gay senators talking about, oh, we're going to give them reparations. Reparations for what? Because they are gay. Okay. Slavery for 150 years. All these corporations has been established. I see where um like Elon Musk where he gets his butt because it's inherited. Some of these other people, businesses and all these tall buildings and stuff, where a lot Southwest Air, like the not airlines but the railroad tracks, you know, that owns the Southwest Airlines and everything. They was using blacks, Asians, and Latinos to build them tracks. A lot of Native Americans, and we had to work for like $2 for a whole day. They said, I look at the history of it. Of course, I'm gonna be profitable if I don't have to pay you. But the meaning situation and break down your character and everything like that, like all hope is lost but to do what I say. So after 150 years, my family got trust funds and we got control. But now these cats is asking for at least $20 of minimum wage. We canceling out the wrong thing. I've never been an egotistical person. I've seen guys say, hey, I could be in the car and the woman's driving. It doesn't affect me. Shoot, I sit up in the passenger side drinking some cappuccino. She hit a curve to her. I said, hey, you almost made me spill my cappuccino. You remember Talladega Nights? I like that. And we take the time though to argue with these people. Don't take the time to argue with them. Be confident in who you believe and who you are. I am not for me to tell anybody that they're wrong. That's something that they're gonna have to deal with when it comes down to it. You know, they're either death or these natural disasters that they constantly putting us into, which is to me population control. We're getting involved with a war that has nothing to do with us. We so concerned with them that our people here in this country is up here hungry and homeless, and we up here, bring them over here. Need to be counseling out that type of stuff for real. What we do is we release these guys that's been in prison for misdemeanors and infractions and marijuana sales, and these people who's coming over here and need some asylum, well, we'll put them in there. We're just gonna leave the cell doors open, but we got plenty of space. Let out the true Americans and let them come out, except don't let those ones out who like to mess with kids, raping and serial murders. You keep them where they at. we don't need that. What we need is simple stuff. Stop where I've been asking this question. This is what we need to counsel, where if you go to any traffic court, there's never been a judge that sentenced anybody to death row for driving with suspended license or tail light out. There's never been no death penalty call for that. But yet, since 2017, we've had 600 murders of basic traffic stops, misdemeanor situations. No, it's not El Chapo being stopped. It's not the most wanted person in the international where the the SWAT got to be called and stuff. I give you $100 million if you get me out of here. Everybody's shooting at the police. No, it's nobody like that they're stopping. But yet, I see you walking slowly with a pedophile and rapist. Like, hey, come on in over here. Those are the ones that need to get that answer for. You want to bring over 100,000 people from Ukraine? We need to constantly, for real, we need to check them mentally, physically, and spiritually. You don't know who you bringing over here. For real. You may be bringing in the Antichrist mama over here. We don't know who I'm listening to. Tucker Carlson? who I'm listening to. They proved this on us when I was a kid with the Laosians. Next thing I know, they in the neighborhoods with the got our own house, a car. Like, why y'all get this? I thought y'all was refugees. We've been working here for years. They took care of them. Had to swap meats and all that. That's when all the hair salons and the nail shops popped up, remember? Next thing you know, the crack pandemic comes in. Now we in the council culture. Everything you say is wrong. Women wear fine dresses and look in the mirror and make sure their booty's looking nice and everything. Then you mad when somebody flirts with you. If you don't want nobody to flirt, go out there looking like a pile of nothing and stuff. You don't have to worry about it. Stop pushing your titties in people's faces and stuff. And then when they say, "Ooh, he's harassing me," what? Now, harassment is like what the former president was saying. You grab him in the crotch. Now that's wrong. Because me as a male and you, okay, you want to wear something and you're showing your cleavage and then one of them pop out, you think I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm going to be like this. On that Super Bowl Sunday, when Janet Jackson was up there with what's his name, Justin Timberlake. Hey, it was a split second, but that whole world saw that titty. You can say a closed malfunction, whatever, but I seen that titty. I felt more closer to Janet Jackson at that time. We're concentrating on the wrong thing, people. We're concentrating on the mental skills. So now, like I told everyone, Big Hank, I know he was in seminar situation, and Miss Christina Carter, I know they're being thirsty, but I even know I'm gonna hold the show down because I'm talking about this council culture, and I'm reading everyone's things. I like he said titty just hanging out. You want to dress real clad, like I like women who wear heels and legs. So if you catch me staring in Los Angeles, you better not stare past 3 seconds. You better be 1001, 1002. Turn your head. That's a sexual harassment. It's a council. We used to be able to go, you like, cartoons used to be, you'll turn into a wolf. And he'd be like, oh, if your Mac work, now you don't go raping women. No. You don't do all that creepy stuff. If her vibe ain't feeling, you step on. Some guys can't take rejection. That's the mental thing you got to start receiving. Okay, like I was told as a kid, there's only 2 answers that can come with any question, a yes or a no. And you got to accept the no as well as you accept the yes. We have single mothers that's raising these men and telling, I done talked to some of them. When they become young men, it was good. You knew them as a kid, but now you can say, oh, mom, don't worry about it, baby. Mama got it. You ain't even teach them how to talk to another woman. You telling mama, I'm hungry. You get some eggs and ham. Okay, baby, I got you. Now he don't know how to talk. Yo, bitch, give me something to eat. What? I'm not your mama. You got it. Because the mama ain't told him how to talk to another woman. Because the way she said, I'm the only woman you really need in your life. And this is the stuff we need to counsel. For real. We got a lot of young people out here just shooting up stuff. They hate. Somebody's giving them the money to get the ammunition. Somebody's giving them the guns. It's amazing how I see that we need to counsel where these young cats have guns and don't have a job. How in the world? And it's nothing but an adult who's backing that up. I ain't never seen a group of 16-year-olds go together and say, hey, man, we're going to do this. Now, me and my friends, when we were 16, we would get the fake ID so we get into the clubs. He said, like they said, women in sundresses. If John Gray Spirit made anything better, he kept it for himself. But we have to counsel that. So it makes it seem like we're in a box. But you know what? If you treat someone the way you would want to be treated, it automatically counsels things that will be derogatory to somebody else. But sometimes it seems like we're nitpicking. If you're gay, don't worry about how I'm looking at you, because I'm not looking at you as gay. I'm looking at you as an individual. If I see you in public, believe me, especially to another dude, I'm not looking at you near way in sexual preference. Believe that. Women under, especially 21, my preference under really 25, I don't look at them, especially little girls. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I told people before, my baby, I'm a single dad. So when she was a little girl and I had to change her, you know, she was sometimes trying to get to use the bathroom. One time she was like 2 and she's like, Daddy, I went and pee-pee. I pee-pee. I go in there, it's pee all on the floor. I'm like, hey. I found out she trying to stand up. I said, oh, I had to teach her to sit. You's a mommy, you got to sit. Let me sit. Yeah, you got to sit. Now, I wipe her and clean her, right? So next thing you know, one day I have my girlfriend at this time shows up and she said, I got a surprise for you. She comes out the bedroom dressed like a schoolgirl, you know, with the plaid skirt and white stockings. And I'm like, what you dressed like that for? She said, I'm trying to be your girl like that. They don't turn me on. You better put on some grown woman shit. You better put on some stockings and high heels and look like a grown woman to me. I'm not into that. Let's counsel that. Some dude got a fashion like that lawyer, Rudy. He in the scene of a movie and he up here died dripping all in his face. Oh, titties. That's what we need to counsel. We need to counsel out the stuff we keep seeing. We need to counsel out like what they said in the Declaration of Independence when it says if this government fails you, not just this particular party, this government has been failing us for over 20-something years. Every time we thinking we getting somewhere, we're the only country that all of a sudden, and it's always some little wars with a little council culture and stuff. Somebody, oh, don't whoop your kids. Got more upticks of kids running around crazy because some individual, like this one particular lady, I'm be honest with you, there was a white lady in LA who was a big component of people disciplining their kids. And she had this law pushed. You can go to jail. Your kid can tell their teacher and counselor and say, I got a whooping. And they see you going to jail or catching a case with the people all in your business, how your kids is being treated and all this stuff, right? All in your business because they got your better welfare for the kids. And next thing you know, this same lady at the time didn't have no kids. She didn't have no kids. Now, during the time past, she feeling victorious and stuff. Let me give up some of this and stuff to the dude, to her husband, and they have 2 or 3 kids. So he's gone to work out of town on his business trip and stuff. Probably was getting tired of these kids because they got 3 boys. And then you seen the commercial where the kids has got this swimming pool in the bedroom and water. These kids was driving her crazy. So she goes get a stick. She got mad, hitting with the stick. Well, your own kids. They called the police. They took her to jail. She was mad about it. She felt relief because she was like, well, I'm at least away from them 3. See, it's always somebody who wants to be Mr. or Mrs. Look at me, I made this change. I made this change. Everybody should listen to me. And like cow herding, be like, oh, I'm gonna listen to you because we think the same. Then them two get some other two because two brings other two. Now there's four, and then them four find four other more like-minded, and there's eight. And now you by yourself thinking different from them. So now them eight is looking at you like, oh, what's wrong with him? He's just not. One dude came to me. He said, Roy, you're not, what it is that you're not linked to your feminine side. I said, yeah, I cut it off all the time. That my baby toenail, I cut that, you know. Yeah, that's probably the most feminine part of me, bro. You know, yeah. It ain't no recognizing, searching for something that isn't there. That's why if you've seen the picture at the beginning of my, if you know, when I posted up on Facebook, what we know, I used a bowl of 2 eggs. I had cracked 2 eggs. One egg had 1 yolk. The other egg had 2 yolks in it, like it was going to be twins. It was still an egg yolk. It's still going to make scrambled eggs. I didn't make the 2 egg yolks or whatever into one. I didn't try to split the other 1 egg. Like I want to be like them 2 yolks. So I didn't try to cut that main yolk into half so it can make it seem it was natural. You need the counsel of whereas dudes is losing their penises and they say, you know, to be a woman. I call it for them guys like that who wants to lose their penises. I got a Johnson. They lose their penises. Wants to be a woman. Actually got them where these men is carrying babies now. Okay, that's nothing to do with me. You ain't carrying my child. And I'm not asking no man, you know. Every time I see a man, I go on the toilet, I go to the standing urinal. I say, you going in to sit down. It's none of my business. I be thinking you might be taking a bum. It ain't none of my business. I'm going in there and get my relief on to take this urine, wash my hands, touch with my elbow or with the napkin, and I'm out of here. I'm not into your preference. And what you do, and you can cancel this out, stop trying to push it up on us like it's commercial. See, what we need to stop doing is, and then a lot of cats don't want to speak up because they're scared of comments. You agree with a preacher and stuff. I mean, the whole crowd is moving, but he done said something you really ain't feeling it, but you go along with it because you think that he got the. For real, God is not an author of confusion. He'll take that one. There's a little dude, a small dude in the Bible. He was small stature. And Jesus is coming through, and the crowd is big, and he can't see him worth nothing. So this little dude say, man, I'm not going to let my size, or people tell me, get your small back, get back away from me. We trying to see the Lord. He's like, man, only thing he could do is go up ahead and find this tree and climb the tree to look. And when Jesus supposed to have walked by, he noticed him and said, hey, called him by his name, come on down. Now his effort, not just to get up in the tree, because he wasn't going to let his size counsel him out. He wasn't going to let the people, their words of what they saying or not saying, counsel him out as an individual. Where everybody else is standing around as an individual, he can't see. I'm going to go help myself by climbing up so I can see. Now I don't have to hear the rumors of everybody saying, I seen him. I can actually say I seen him just at a different level than you, because my natural level is a little short. So I got to make an effort to be able to see him. The surprise and the everlasting change was that Jesus seen him out of all these people, seen him. Hey, called him by his name. Hey, Roy, come on down. Bam. Ooh. Now the crowd got apart because he spoke for me to come through. I'm coming down the trees and scraped up the size of my leg and all that and everything, but I'm coming down because I ain't worried about that because he sure can heal. Bam, there it is. But we concentrated on the wrong thing, America. I've been enjoying Monday nights. Monday nights, we got oh my God, it's a heavyweight 12-round fight. It might end up with a knockout, but I'm letting the people decide because so far it's 2 rounds. It's toe-to-toe, old school rock versus old school rap. It's under the Spreaker.com, and you'll see it under the Woe Entertainment called the Woe Hideout every Monday night, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Which is 6:30 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and whatever country you living in. I'm not gonna go into all that, but and what we did is toe to toe, classic rock, then a classic rap, classic rock, classic rap, and man, round 1 it leaned to the rock, and I'm not being biased, but man, because there was some songs that touched me. I tell anybody, listen to War Pigs. I felt that song, you know, and I love the beat and all that and the words. And then last night, Monday night, man, hit him with that Tupac. I ain't mad at you. Right after I hit him with that Insane Clown Posse. Oh man, it was like, and what people don't know is that I just be letting the spirit just, hey. And next you know, it's just vibe. And what I'm loving is that we're bringing people together. There was guys who only listen to rock. There's guys who only listen to rap. It seems like sometimes the minorities have the rap and the whites have the rock, and we come together. Because I have some living color, and they jamming too. I didn't play them because I'm saving them for round 3 because they hitting hard too. Metallica, AC/DC. Oh man, I didn't know like when my man Hank Williams Jr. My name is Bocephus. You know, I'm up here talking about Bocephus. I learned something. And this is how we learn something about each other, just like you learning about me. I can go to any hoods. I'm an ambassador, man. I bring tidings of great joy. I be the only black sometimes down there at camera. Never felt no different. Felt like a human. Felt like if I needed some blood, somebody in this mother gonna give me something. Even if we don't match with that A+ and O+, because they sure didn't have that in the cowboy days. They be like, he need a pint of blood. Well, okay, I give it to him. They be like, well, what up? You ain't O positive. Wyatt Burke was known to have an itchy tick. It was because he had a blood transfusion. Yeah. But he was quick, but he had an itch. But anyway, man. Thursday, we're going to bring this subject back up with the council culture. And then the Roy Anthony Show is ending our 3rd season. We're going to be back. We're going to pick it back up at 3-4 weeks. My producer said, you know, take out the month. I appreciate that. We're going to be coming out even harder. There's some stuff we've been developing, and we said we was going to introduce, and we didn't want to introduce it to the middle of this 3rd season. We want to keep it where it's more conversation related, and we're going to do it like this Thursday, but expect a big change coming on the 4th season under the Woe Entertainment. And those, man, for real, you see this globe? I've been on everything about this globe, reaching out. It's amazing that I can sit in one little room, but touch so many different people and still be myself. and stuff, you know. Tucker Carlson, you better than that. Miss Margie Green, you better than that. You just gonna lie. You don't remember nothing. You don't remember nothing. You gotta love them, man, because guess what? That's all an act to. It's all Hollywood. I never seen so many senators trying to get attention like they was basketball stars, man. But anyway, think about what I said, man. You see the video, you know we always record the videos. The videos always recorded. We coming back like that South Park movie, Bigger and Deffer. Bigger, you know, the movie. So anyway, man, like our producer always say, we never say goodbye. We say Donna Doria Hoy. That means that until I see you again. Roy Auntie's out of here.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out there?
Show.